So, today we're going to be getting to a series that I like and deserves another anime. Come on, we deserve a season 2, by the way. So, what I'm talking about is an anime called Madoka Box, which is this, which we deserve a second season. Because we left off a hell of a cliffhanger. A cliffhanger that we didn't get, but instead, on the last episode, we got a backstory of a broken character that, mind you, that we got like a brief explanation of why. Okay, before anything, let me just say this name kind of popped up, or it was mentioned how, if you remember, that Madoka, during the fight between Madoka and one of the leader of the disciplinary committee, which is always how that happened, she first went into war god mode, which Zenkichi said, well, she went into that mode, this is bad, and she hasn't went into this mode since middle school. Now, Zenkichi goes into the backstory, and if you remember that backstory, he even explains, so yeah, the last time she went to this mode, into this form, was in middle school, and it was against, like, the student council president himself. Like, she's, like, the situation was, she saw, like, a body, a dead body, and then she got mad, or implication was, she didn't like what Kumakawa did, or Kumakawa, which that was the person she went off on, by the way, and beat him to a pulp, apparently, or well, it is a known fact that's what happened. And then she beat the crap. So anyway, that's how, like, this, like, the mention Kumakawa. Anyways, how's this ties back? Well, we need a second season. I want a second season so bad for this, because the manga's done. I know this for a fact. The manga is done. Now we need like a second season. Please give me a second season, and by the same studio. Well, anyway, I saw on Twitter that some person. It was some company, some animation department that's like handed off this bunch of their stuff to them, or working on it. I'll show you the tweet at the end of the video. But oh my goodness, they shown this Kumakawa at the end. It was right after they beat or disabled the Flash plan, or stopped it, and Zenkichi rescued Madoka from brainwashing, and Madoka beat up the ringleader of the Flash plan. So all of them are copacetic. Everybody's alive. Barely. Now they went down, went to the elevator, and once they pop out, once the door of the elevator opens, they see each and everybody that they know, disciplinary and all the other allies, posted up with the screws on their hands and bodies, by the way, up on the wall, lined up. And guess who was there? Kumakawa, cool motherfucking Gawa. And he looked at Zenkichi and said, "Oh, Zenkichi, Madoka-chan. Long time no see." And by the way, he had two screws in his hands, looking dead straight at them. And Kumakawa, not Kumakawa, but Madoka and Zenkichi looked at him and was like, hell no. We have a problem here. And that's where the episode ends. Cliffhanger, I know. But, like, at the 12th episode, that was the 11th episode. The 12th episode was the backstory of Kumakawa himself, bro. You know how bad you know how much of a power creep. And I'm going to say power creep, because that's what he is. He's broken all to hell. I mean, don't argue with me on that logic. I mean, if you have a character like this that's been given powers by this person, you're nuts, because that's actually what happened. Anyways, we're gonna begin with how this character became so broken in his feats. Let's start with his background, because everybody needs to understand how much of a what's the perfect term of him? Background character that became a character. Anyways, let's begin with with his story. Kumakawa was basically, let me read off his bio first. Anyways, Kumakawa, a child. Well, I think this is better. Well, no. Anyways, Kumakawa went to a Hamikawa General Hospital to test for abnormalities and ended up sitting next to Madoka, which we all should know. I mean, this is Madoka back then. I don't know if that's back then, what she looked like before she met Zankichi, but hey, it is what it is. Anyways, while waiting to get checked, he was solely unimpressed by what was going on. Tell Madoka that people are born for no reason. Starting the emo already. As he was called in, Kumagawa left Madoka with the parting words that there was no point in being alive, and then met with and was examined by Hitomi Hiyotoshi. Wait a minute. Okay, Hiyotoshi. Which that's, if nobody can put two and two together, that's Zenkichi's mom, by the way. Hitomi put on a smile and introduced herself, asking him if there was anything she could do for him. Kumakawa asked her to mark him down as normal so as not to worry his parent. Anyways, fast forward, while student council president at her Hokobone Middle School, Kumakawa used Kyoki Hakine. That's her name, right? Hopefully I said her name right. I know I wrote it down. Nope. Okay. To get rid of students he didn't like. I just remember who he was. It's this character. If you didn't put two and two together, it's this character, Kyoki Akane, or I probably didn't pronounce that right. To get rid of students he didn't like, one of his targets was Madoka, which you already know the backstory of how that happened, because that backstory was shown. I think that was during part 2 Flash the. Man, I can't speak. It was showing the backstory of how that actually happened. How Zankichi saw Kyoki was hurting Madoka and confronting him with other students too that got Zankichi's back, so they jumped him for plenty of reasons for that. Because hey, if that was me and I seen you do that to my childhood friend, you gonna get jumped for real. Anyways, so explains, he told Akane that tomboy like her was not necessary in their little paradise. Madoka's subsequent conversion of Akane would be spark that led her to fight with Kumagawa. So, like I said, when Madoka went a second time in War Guard mode, Zankichi did say, I did say this too, like 9 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago or something, that Zankichi did, not Zankichi, but she went, this is her second time going into this form. And she hasn't went into this form since middle school, which there you go, that's how lines are connected right there. So yeah, she hasn't went into this form since she fought Kumagawa anyways. The situation in middle school. So the situation between Kumagawa and Madoka came to a head when he viciously attacked his vice president Aojumu, which if you don't know who she was, she's basically the person that's like God. She was God. She was. And by the way, the way the episode narrated is, she was narrating the story the hell out of it. Like you can tell something was off with her. Matter of fact, she was God. That's how you know. She was like completely broken. She was broken. She was even stronger than Madoka. That's saying something. She was even stronger than Kumagawa. And she gave him like power. She was handing Kumagawa power up. And Zankichi too. She gave Zankichi some power, but shit. Crazy, right?
Absolutely flawless. Absolutely flawless.
Anyways, the one responsible for making him president astonishingly to confirm his feelings for her. Worried that he loved her only for her good looks, Kumagawa ripped off her face. This drove Madoka into rage and into War God mode for the first time. Zankichi was there right behind too, so he saw everything. He's like, shit, this is not good. Anyways, losing herself in anger, she beat Kumagawa until he begged her to stop. He left the school afterward. Never again. Until he came back into the 11th episode. Oh, God. Okay. Okay, now here's the part where he's actually broken. So I'm gonna keep skipping the rest of it. So anyways, if you don't know enough about this character is super broken. Super broken to the point where that was just his backstory, by the way. That's part of what happened. Now here's the real reason why he's broken. So anyways, Kumakawa does become the student council president shortly after with Sukinasaki as his general affairs manager. Shoot. Well, if you don't remember who she was, let me look it up real quick just to make sure I'm not tripping, because I believe, okay, never mind. Anyways, on Monday during the first period, Sukinasaki burst into the castle room crying about her unnatural blonde hair, interrupting Kumagawa as he reads the weekly show in Jump. Oh goodness, bro. Kumagawa starts reading asks her if her hair is such a problem that she had interrupted his reading time. When he knows her hair color, he smiles and assures that she will not be fired for it. Now, she tells, after hearing that student Fuzami is most likely the culprit, Kumakawa says he has not heard of such a person. So, she tells Kumakawa, say, yeah, this guy, has the power to do something with fucking colors. And basically, Kumakawa took action, basically. Now, we get into, God. Okay, so here's what actually happened. So, both Inzomi and Suga clarified his previous president that Kumagawa himself took down. Kumagawa laughs, saying she must have suffered terribly by his hands and throws a screw at his paintings. Kumagawa justifies himself by stating Izumi Machi ruined her hair, which in turn his Kumagawa's hair, though Sunazaki says her hair is not Kumagawa's property. In anger, throws a wave of palette knives at Kumagawa, piercing. We've seen this in the anime. Basically piercing Kumagawa to the wall and spring back to life, which it nullifies his death and injuries, by the way. That's what happened. So what ends up happening? So this dude ends up using color blue and causes bruises to appear all over Kumagawa, which Kumagawa collapses in pain. Now, here's the bullshit part. This is what I mean by the bullshit part. Power creep. In the dream classroom, Kumakawa meets Ajumu, who asks him how he died. Basically, he says, well, shit. You already know how I died. Kumakawa does not respond to her protest, however. Kumakawa tells that all fiction is nothing more than a magic trick, just like Azumi's skill. Kumakawa bows to Ajumu, saying the skill is still beneath her. So she must be a god, because ain't no way you gonna tell me that broken to all hell, right? Anyways, here's how, at the end of this, here's how shit just goes off the fans. We all know how broken he is, but let me alliterate you let me just specify, amp up how broken he is. Izumichi defacing the school but offers a deal. He will ignore Izumi's action if he gives Kumagawa the power to choose the colors of paintings everywhere in the world. Izumichi turns Kumagawa's shirt gray and destroys it to reveal Kumagawa's skin. Kumagawa pierces with screws, however, revealing that he has erased the blue from the world. Oh wait, no. Okay, yeah. So basic details of this. So y'all already watched this anime, so I'm gonna assume you watched this anime and came to a conclusion how Kumagawa ends up beating this dude. So let me give you a short version. So Kumagawa decided, you gonna color the blue. What you gonna do? So Kumagawa said, alright, fuck it. Blue is gone. Color blue is gone from the sky. And bro was like, oh, you erased blue, I can just put it. Blue doesn't exist, by the way. And he just said, you know what? Let's make that red real quick. And he made the sky red, by the way. And the dumbest thing, if you really think about it, he really did do him dirty. Because if he wanted to, he could erase. Well, I don't know if he could, but let me just tell you before I end up comparing this to something else, to a different anime that this reminds me of. So this dude, Kumakawa ends up erasing not only the color of the sky and make it red. He's basically touring with this dude, fucking around with this dude. So Kumakawa ends up saying, "Oh wait, by the way, no color in this world. So let's not have that in this world right now." And bro's like, "What the hell?" So he looked at his I'm guessing he looked at his tray and was like, "Well shit, this is and it's nothing but blanks." It's funny that this scene right here, that it went back to how no color of the manga. It's bad enough they went back to the manga stage, but how funny that. So if you really want to showcase how broken it is, there's other ways you can do this. I mean, you can have fun with this character. This character, you can make him do like a third person, or what was it? Like a fourth wall. Yeah. Do what Deadpool does. Fourth wall. And just say, hey everybody. Do you want to know a good way to like destroy animation? No animation. We're back from the jump, and all of a sudden everybody just snaps back into animation stage basically. So I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's this right here. I'll put a picture of right here. It's beginning of animation or a manga drawing right here. Boom, done. So I mean, if you want to go that route, I mean, here you go, ladies and gents. So what ended up happening? I mean, this dude ends up running at Kumakawa, and Kumakawa just speared his ass to death. A bunch of screws pop him and pierce him before he even like get an inch at Kumakawa's face and start stabbing him. So yeah, that old girl in the back was like, "Oh shit." So, you're not gonna put are you gonna put the color back? Cause, see, if I was there with Kumakawa, I would be like, put the color back, are you? Cause if you can put the color back, I'm game. I'm all good. But if you don't, I mean, shit. I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, how are you gonna know what color the water is? Matter of fact, how do you know what color your sweat is? What the color of rain is? You know, that's gonna be a problem. Juice? How you gonna know it's juice? See what I mean? Okay, now that I'm done with the explanation. Now, I want to say to again to the explanation what Kumakawa's all fiction reminds me of. It reminds me of an anime called No Game No Life. Put it right here. If you don't know about this anime, well, basically it's games, basically card games, gambling, basically gambling with your life. Brother and sister gets transported to a different world which they're bored with their lives, and all of a sudden a god from a different world emailed them, and they accepted the challenge, and they managed to beat the god. I would say they both managed to beat the god, and the god said, "Oh, okay, so you managed to beat me, so I'm gonna beam your asses to my world so I can beat you guys in like a petty way." So yeah, so they end up beaming them into his world, and they basically have to like live in this world. I mean, they don't want to go back to the old world, but they want to stay in this world. But in order to do that, they have to do a bunch of shit in this world. So like change the rule. So if their main goal is, if they manage to win like these chess pieces that's been like scattered around the world, they challenge Ted. That's what his name was. Ted is this dude right here. If they manage to beat Ted, then they become gods, basically. And yeah. Another thing is too, when I say this is similar to all fiction, is there was an episode where what was her name? It was an angel chick. I think her name was Flan, or whatever the hell her name is. It's this chick right here. But their whole objective was to obtain her in the library. So for them to obtain her and to recruit her and her library and everything else, her kind is to beat her in a game. The game particularly is called what was that? Memory? It was some kind of game, but it's cranked up to life and death, basically. So yeah. So what was I gonna say? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Oh, forgive me for not remembering because my memory is kind of short. So basically, the game was memory, but it was cranked up or wordplay. Yeah, it was wordplay. So the emphasis of the game is to for the game was to do. I cannot remember the game. The emphasis of the game is to say a word, and you can't say the same word that your opponent says. So you gotta. And for some, I won't say it's some reason, but if you say for example, you say One Piece, but you have to be like specific with the One Piece. Like, what do you mean by One Piece? So say like say like an animal, wolf. A wolf will appear. So the next opponent can't say that word, and it's like, okay, how about cow? A cow appears, and then if you want to crank this up even further, you can say ozone layer, and all of a sudden a partial like layer of the earth just disappears just like that. Now if you say Earth's crust disappears, and that's how it happens. What else is a good example? Meteor comes. If you say meteor comes down. Now I want to say, oh man. By the way, the next video, that will be my next video, by the way, because this is off the chain. But anyway, that game is similar to all fiction because it erases stuff and makes it come on command or something and brings something back or deletes it. That's something about all fiction. It's similar to all fiction. I'm not even going to get into the emphasis on the powers, but I mean, I would say that. I mean, that's how broken Kumikawa is. I mean, I want to expand more, but I do want them to come out with a second season of the anime. I mean, come on, I really want them to come out with a second anime. But I saw this tweet on Twitter, and it really, well, let me type in just in case, because I really, 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 really want them to do a second season. But I saw a tweet by Dotomachi, which I follow, which is kind of inspired. Okay, so I didn't know this, but Dai tweeted out this too on like August 1st. Hey, Trigger at Trigger and Corporation. Yeah, since you're scooping up Gainax old stuff, please give us season 3. If this happens, if season 3 happens, I would make a whole ass video on it. Cause there's some shit that needs to be here. The manga is done, and we know what happens at the end. We just need something like Trigger Incorporated is an animation studio, by the way. I mean, they're under a lot of people. Or not a lot of people, but a lot or under good ass people. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that and I liked it too. So I'm hoping that this actually gets animated, or hopefully Trigger and Corporation or the animation studio gets this, because hey, I wouldn't mind this. And I'll put this needs to happen, that needs to happen. I wouldn't mind this, matter of fact, because if we get a season 3, no, you got to include too, like, the animation. Would they stick with that same animation? Because they let in certain oh my goodness, bro, I do not like certain animations, including High School DxD. That's a whole nother video I need to make too, because the they need to go back to they need to leave the High School DxD alone with that animation. The other animation was good, that wasn't. Anyways, I mean, yeah, that's all my opinion on Kumikawa. Yeah, but if you like this video, and if you're new here, subscribe, like, and comment down below if you think Kumikawa is a power creep, or that might be reaching. If Kumikawa is broken all to hell, I mean, we all know this. I mean, don't even act like this man ain't broken. Come on, any other character growing up with this man, good luck. And thanks again, and see you next adventure later.